Hi, and welcome back to Educate U's presentation on how to submit grant applications through the FAFSA portal online. I'm Travis Pander. I'm going to take you through a couple of additional steps and how to actually push your application through to the government and get your college paid for. This should look familiar to you by now if you haven't looked at the previous two videos on the website and how to access and start your account. Please do that. One of the first things you'll notice is here at the bottom you can check the FAFSA website for your state's deadlines for the academic year. Strongly urge you to do that. It always makes sense to know what your deadlines are before you start applying to colleges and things like that. So wanted to take a second and show you that first before we dive right in. Next step is going to just be to log in. And if you see right here on this first page here, you can see where it says the login. We're just going to click right there. And that's going to take us into a very familiar form. There's kind of a roundabout that this website creates. Just click up in the top right, the login, and then get logged in here just like we did on the previous two videos. Again, with the government legalese, click OK on that. And this dashboard should start looking pretty familiar to you by now. So this is where you're going to see all of your outstanding federal aid that you've gotten. But now we're going to want to go ahead and complete the FAFSA form. So up under Apply for Aid, poke around some of these and take a look at what they have to offer. It's pretty neat. And you can also go through and take a look at some offers for loans. At Educate U, we strongly recommend you not use loans. We have plenty of options for student aid to go through. So click Complete the FAFSA form. And that's going to, again, with the roundabout, it's going to take you through there. You're going to click that you're a student, you want to access it. Sometimes that takes just a minute. So here you'll see the couple of different forms you can submit, and that's just based on the academic year. So select your academic year. It's going to have you create a save key, and this is going to be unique to you. There's no kind of criteria that they provide you to, certain number of capital letters or special characters or whatever. Just make sure that when you select a key, you write this down. And it is going to offer to remember your password in the exact same way that any other website, including FAFSA, does. You're not going to want to do that because if you do that, it's going to override the password to save here. And you'll see here, it'll pop up in the top right. To save that password, you want to say no, even though I say update password. That'll keep you from having to, get relogged in and all that kind of stuff. So, a couple little how you doing, showing you what to expect from it, or little stuff. The one thing I want you to take from here is if you can't finish your form in one sitting, don't sweat it. We're going to show you how it lets you know it's saving the form through each step. So here we're going to blank out most of this information. We're not going to take you through each step of this process because it's all personal information. But if you look up at the top, it goes through the different sections, and I'm going to click through some of the things here. You just want to answer the questions as honestly as you can. There's not a whole lot of levity to any of these questions. It's really just getting a feel for who you are. As for your education, of course, click in your high school, what kind of degree you're going for. And then it'll ask you here if you're interested in work study as well at the bottom there. And the reason they ask that is because sometimes they have options available for people who want to work for their degree. You can usually get a little bit of your tuition knocked off for doing a work study. It'll ask you the typical male, female, address, all that kind of stuff. You'll just click continue through all of this stuff. Make sure you put in your correct driver's license on here. I'm just putting in a fake one just to get through to the next spot. And it will ask some pretty sensitive questions, personal stuff. That's totally normal. Don't think that that's somebody fishing for your info or anything like that. Just go ahead and click through all that stuff. Answer it to the best of your ability. No wrong answers. And in the school selection, it's going to ask you to actually select a few schools that you plan to attend. Now you can select up to 10 of those schools, and it's pretty neat. They'll give you all the information you need for each school. So from here, it's a good idea if you're looking at a key 10 schools, but you're really focused in on 2 or 3, why not go ahead and do all the 10? Make sure you understand what's available to you. You may have a federal school code. You'll see me try to game it here a little bit. It's not going to work because you have to have that school code ahead of time, and you can get that directly from the school, but you don't need that. You'll see I'll type in a bogus number here, and it'll just say it fails. And then from here, go back to search by school name, city, and state, and you can actually type in whatever school you actually want to go to. We're just going to use Denver as our home base because that's where we're located. And this is a free form Boolean search, just like any other. So it's going to read, you don't have to type the school name exactly or anything like that. But then from here, you can select all of the schools that you're wanting to apply for. And I say, if there's even a chance that you're going to go to one of those other schools and you're pretty sure you're not going to, just go ahead and select it anyways. You might as well know what's out there. So from here, it's also going to want to know what your housing plan is. You're not locking yourself into anything here. It just wants to know ahead of time, are you going to need help with dorm, meal card, things like that. And after you put in all the right information, it won't let you skip any of this. So make sure you answer all of those that you put in for. I only did 5 schools, but again, you can do 10. I strongly recommend you do all 10. If there's even an option, you'll go to another one. It's going to ask you a little bit about your dependents and your tax situation and stuff like that. If you are a high school student enrolling in college the first time, it's going to want a lot of your parents' demographics and financials as well, especially if you were a dependent of theirs during the previous school year. We're going to skip through most of that. It's all pretty self-explanatory. It'll ask you a couple of your tax situations for the previous year. If you're an independent student, like it's going to say that I am because I had a household last year, it's going to ask you to go to the IRS. It's a relatively complicated system, but if you follow their directions, it's kind of painless for a government system. Necessary evil at this point. And then from there, it's going to push you through to the sign and submit part. So it's all pretty easy. It's just like any other basic online form. So take a look at this tutorial. If you have any specific questions, please get in touch with us. You can reach me at travis@educ8u.com. And I'll be available to answer any questions you have about FAFSA or student aid in general. If you are a college student enrolling next semester, come check out Impact by EducateU. EducateU is a Christian company designed to mentor you through the school process, but we don't stop there. We add a valuable leadership development that big schools just can't compete with, and we do that all while saving you time and money that's rolled up in that college process. And we partner with several major schools, and we can take a lot of the pain out of going to college. We also add valuable life skills and experience to that. So check out EducateU today at educ8u.com.